Hi, Coach Pearl. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thank you for taking some time with me.
Oh, you're my pleasure.
Over the last 10 years or so, the number of players that have transferred has exploded. What are your thoughts on that, and has it surprised you at all?
It has. I mean, it. Well, let's start that over again. Um, Transfers have always been a part of our game, but I think those numbers have doubled and tripled due to the change in the rules, where there's now that one-time transfer exception, and you are eligible immediately. So I'm not surprised by the number, but it was due to the rule change.
Has your view of transfers changed in terms of your own roster over your coaching career?
Yes, um, I've always liked to have one transfer sitting out for two reasons. One, I have 13 scholarships, and with one guy sitting out, I only have to try to keep 12 guys happy. And the one player that's been sitting out really gets the benefit by learning the system, getting their body right, getting their academics in order, and that year's been a great thing for so many players. But now that you've got the transfer portal, and you can improve your roster to almost you can improve your roster oftentimes more in the transfer portal than you can recruiting high school players. And so last year we signed 4 transfers and 1 high school player. He happened to be the best player in college basketball this year, Jabari Smith. And this year we kind of went the other way with it. We've signed 3 high school players and 1 transfer. The 1 transfer was Janai Broom from Morehead State. So we're going to probably have a mixture, and I imagine I would imagine it's going to be more in the lines of 50-50 now, as opposed to before. I would sign, let's say, 1 transfer and 2 or 3 high school players.
Is it safe to say that the
75-25. Now it's more 50-50.
is it safe to say that the portal nowadays has changed the way you approach the off season?
Yep, it has, for sure. I think it's gonna wind up. There'll be a lot of high school players that would have been playing in the SEC that now won't be. They're gonna have to be playing in something, either different conferences or not a Power 5 conference, and wind up transferring up to the SEC rather than coming from a high school.
When players wanted to transfer in the past, it was usually for a change of scenery or a bigger role. But now it seems like we said, anyone from stars to reserve players are entering the portal. It's almost like a free agency. Do you think something like that is good for the sport?
We've always had to adjust to rule changes. When they legislated in so many ways against trapping, I was a full court 94 pressure defensive coach and really can't trap. So the way Nolan Richardson used to, play the game, that'd be really hard to play that way right now because the way they have officiated trapping. They've changed the rules to make this transfer portal what it is, and so we have to adjust. I hope that in time kids will begin to. I've always believed. Look, there's nothing wrong with transferring, but I think sometimes it's better to fight through a situation, improve your situation, and then fight first. And oftentimes the kids that have stuck it out have been rewarded. Versus as soon as it gets difficult, we're kind of teaching them to flee, not fight. And so I don't prefer it, but we'll adjust to it.
Before they were implemented, were you in favor of something like NIL deals?
I was in favor of a realistic scholarship. I was in favor of an annuity for players. The longer they stayed, the more they were able to profit share. And I was in favor and so therefore I was in favor of something more than tuition, room, board, books, and fees.
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised at how quickly NIL and collectives have escalated?
Yes.
Do you have different feelings when it comes to collectives as opposed to regular NIL deals?
I think it's great that the student athletes are able to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. I think the collectives put us in a situation that could be more pay to play, which is against the rules.
Mm-hmm. Has the NIL world changed the way you have to recruit?
It's too soon to tell, but yes, in the sense that, but that's to be determined. I think that's to be determined.
Do you think that NILs and collectives need to be regulated with more clarity?
Yes, I do. I think it would be very helpful if we could get more clarity from the NCAA and our yes.
Do you feel like being a basketball coach has become more of a 24/7, 365 job now than, say, when you were at Milwaukee?
Well, I think because of the transfer portal, we truly and you combine that with the NBA draft, and when guys can have to put their name in or out, we truly year to year don't know what our roster is going to look like.
Yeah.
And you used to be able to have a pretty good idea when the season was over in March, what your roster would look like, what your needs would be. You'd sign some kids in the fall, you might be sign a couple in the spring. You had a pretty good idea who was coming back and who wasn't. Now, you have no idea. Now you have far less of an idea of what you need, what your roster is going to look like, and your roster may not be completed until sometime in early June. As a result, we're working much harder in April and May in putting our rosters together, traveling, evaluating, visits, campus visits, and so as a result, April and May used to be, May especially, a little bit more, especially when the players, like if you're, for us at Auburn, graduation was May 7th or May 10th. My players don't come back until the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 or 3 weeks, and in many ways we've lost some of that we needed. It would help us if we would create more quiet and more dead periods so that we could coaches could get their batteries charged a little bit more.
With that being said, how difficult is it to balance life with work while making sure you still have that same passion every single season?
Say that again, please.
How difficult is it to balance life with work while making sure you have the same passion?
It's impossible. I mean, look, in coaching, when we're winning, they're worried we're going to leave, and when we're losing, they're packing our bags. So you either win or you're going to get fired. And so, if you want to feed your family, you better work.
With all these new things in the world of college basketball, do you think we will see more coaches that take the route of Jay Wright and retire a little bit earlier than some may expect?
It's possible, and it's not. Look, we've always worked hard. I mean, look, that's why we all got where we gotten to, and we teach our kids to work hard. So we lead by example. It's just that, my first day off
Yeah. One more question for you, Coach. How much longer do you think you'll coach?
That's a great question, and you've asked some great questions. So I think you do. Besides, I don't know who you are, but it seems like you've asked great questions. I think you're going to do a great job with this. As long as I can continue to be successful and do a great job for the kids and stay healthy.
Coach, I really appreciate the time, and
Thank you.
I look forward to watching Auburn next season.
Okay. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.